Shalom, Chevra. How many times have you felt the following from people around you, from those closest to you? Like, why doesn't my wife or family understand me and my needs? Oh, they're just thinking about themselves. They expect me to be more sensitive to their needs, but could care less about mine. And from others, when the relationship is strained, how do I actually speak to them when they would be receptive to my comments and be willing to make the changes I feel are necessary? Well, there's hope. Welcome, everyone. This is David Chaim. We are continuing our Motivational Monday series on the art and science of change. Today, we will be learning how do we actually have what we feel is going to be a difficult conversation and get a desired outcome. The reason I am dedicating time to learn and share with the Chevra lessons by the world's leading motivational teachers like Brendan Burchard, Byron Katie, Fabian Fredrickson, and others is that after 8 years in working close to 1,000 men dealing with addictions, I've noticed that some of them are really excel in the program and enjoy the promises recovery. But regrettably, I see that the majority of us might make some decent progress and have some sobriety, but before long, we seem to fall back into our old patterns of thinking and behaving and then eventually acting out again. I began to realize that no matter how hard I try to teach the guys the tools and the how-to of recovery, that real success only comes to those who are motivated in the beginning and stay motivated to work the program as if it is as important and joyful as freedom itself. Plus, the biggest bonus about learning these techniques is that it benefits us in all areas of our life, not just in recovery, but also as a husband, a father, a provider, in social circles, as a learner, and so much more. So, please allow me to share with you the best techniques and research available today in the art and science of motivation. If I can save just one of you one more hour of agony and frustration that comes from the fall that I didn't want, then I will consider all this effort worthwhile. In our last session, we discussed how to use discipline to accomplish our goals in life. We discussed the following 4 tools. Number 1, engage emotionally with your goals. Number 2, do the most important work or tasks first thing in the morning. Number 3, then at the end of each day, take time to envision and write down a plan of action for tomorrow and for the near term. And finally, tool number 4, celebrate with others. Today, we will be talking about how do we actually have what we feel is going to be a difficult conversation and get a desired outcome, and how by using these 4 simple communication steps, we can accomplish more than we ever imagined. So let's begin by acknowledging all those times we wanted to get a message across, or we had a request that we wanted of someone, and yet after we opened our mouth and expressed ourselves, the person on the other side either got very defensive or they immediately criticized us for our remarks and request. They fought back or denied our request, and unfortunately, we both walked away with our feelings hurt and nothing was resolved. In fact, this tension between us sometimes lingers for days or weeks, and we are both totally reluctant to reevaluate what was said and make any adjustments to our comments or requests. If you have experienced this, either in your home or at your workplace or at the shul, you probably felt like there was this big wall put up between you and the other person. So we could ask ourselves, what could have I said differently? Or how could have I communicated in a much better way so that my comments or requests would be accepted and we could reach the desired outcome and our relationship could have been enhanced rather than damaged like I'm experiencing now? So, my friends, here are 4 simple communication techniques that will significantly improve your chances of success and then see the change result in a mutually beneficial impact on the relationship. So let's get started. Step number 1, don't enter the conversation with your emotions and expectations. Before you express yourself, be sure that you are willing to be responsive, not reactive. Be open-minded. Be humble. Realize right up front that you don't know the whole story. So ask yourself, before you present your opinion or request, do you really know what the other person is thinking or where they're coming from? All right, step number 2. Begin by presenting the end goal and the request in mind, and just express the outcome you are seeking. And rather than list out the steps that you feel are necessary to get this outcome, ask the other person, how do they feel that we together can arrive at this desired outcome? Here's another great step. Number 3, express yourself to the other person by helping them see your point of view. Even begin by asking them, can I please share with you how I see this situation or heard about this matter? And then express to the other person, and as a result, I felt X, Y, or Z. For example, I felt disrespected, or I felt left out, or I got my feelings hurt. Always say it in a way that the other party can also sense or feel what's bothering you. And for sure, you do not want the other party to feel like you are blaming them. Our goal is not to make the other person feel bad or wrong, but rather to be aware of how we feel right now as a result of this situation. And then ask them to consider at least 2 or 3 suggestions how to change the situation and to be sensitive to the benefit for both parties. But always remember to be open-minded to the other party's suggestions too. Remember, people will feel more like listening to you if they feel like you are listening to them. And finally, step number 4, be patient, very patient. Remember, a very important mantra we learned before, turn your expectations into preferences. Whatever you request from the other party, remember that it may take some time for the other person to change, and that it's possible that the way you express yourself feels like a demand, which no one likes, not even ourselves. So be patient. Realize that even though you are looking for quick results, it's still up to the other party how long it takes to change. And just like you and me, if we feel someone is pressuring or demanding us to change, that we will intentionally be opposed to change. But if we express ourselves in the manner suggested above, and we are patient, then slowly but surely, we will arrive at an outcome that is beneficial to all parties. And I promise you that by utilizing these 4 communication steps, that you too will join the ranks of high-performance individuals who are now realizing their dreams and aspirations to finally live a life full of sobriety, recovery, joy, and meaningful relationships, who can openly declare, Zeh Hayom Asa Hashem, Nagila V'nismecha. Thanks everyone for joining me today on this Motivational Monday, and remember, it works if you work it and you're worth it.